Real quick before the video starts, hit the like and subscribe button down below. The more you hit that button, the more this video gets pushed out to other aspiring firefighters. So if someone else is trying to be a firefighter just like you are, they will see this video and they can accomplish their dreams too. And that's why I created this channel. That's why I created my page at Joe Motivational, for everyone to get hired. Thank you. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my page. We talk all things here about how to get hired in the fire service. My name is Joe, for those of you that don't know me, and today we're doing a quick question and answer session. So a few days ago, I put on my Instagram, Joe Motivational, asking if anybody had any questions about how to get hired in the fire service, anything at all about the entire process. You guys came up with an amazing amount of questions, so I took the 10 best, and here they are. So number one, can I actually get hired in 1 year? Now, this is a great question because the answer here is if you know what you're doing, absolutely. I'm sick and tired of how in the fire service, there's this thing that says it's going to take you years and years and years to get hired. Now, I mean, I am sick of it, but I also get it. It took me about 5 or 6 years to actually get hired in the fire service myself. So I get where people are coming from when they say it takes so long to get hired. But the only reason it took me that long, like most people, is they don't know what they're doing to get there. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't know where they're making mistakes on the road to getting there. Now, I remember a friend asked me, he said, "Hey, Joe, what's the quickest way to do this? Can you write this out for me?" And he graduated from pre-service, I want to say about a year or two, maybe 2023, 2024. And he said to me, he said, "Yo, can you give me a roadmap as to how to get there?" And I wrote out a roadmap as if I were to do it all over again, what would I do? And within that roadmap, I realized that if I just did everything back to back to back, it would literally take me 12 months. Like 12 months. Now, obviously give yourself some leeway. So I'd say like maybe 12 months, 12 to 14 months. If you really want to give yourself leeway, go from 1 year to a year and a half. But that's really all it takes to get hired if you know what you're doing correctly. But like I said, most people just throwing paper at the wall, here, there, money, time, year. And at the end of it, most people, to be honest, they don't even make the final goal of getting hired because they simply quit somewhere along the way. And that happens so often, and I'm sick of that happening. I hate when that happens. And the reason I started this page was to make sure that people get there quickly with the least amount of money and to make sure they actually achieve that goal. So yes, it is possible to get hired in 1 year if you know what you're doing. How can I gain experience if I'm just graduating from pre-service college / the academy? So in Canada, where I'm from, we call it pre-service firefighting college, and they call it the academy over in the US. So here's what I did. I found a resume from another firefighter he was actually an instructor in our program in pre-service. And he pretty much gave it to us and said, "Hey guys, so if you want to get hired, here's the resume. Just pretty much try to replicate this and follow this. And all the courses I have, all the volunteerism, all the work experience, if you have all of that, then why would you not get hired?" At the end of the day, it led me very far because I tried to replicate that resume. 2017, 2018, probably 2019 at some points. And it did take me further than where I was, than where I would have gone without that. But at the end of the day, it didn't really get me all the way there. Taking the proper courses, you have to know which courses to take. Taking the proper volunteer, getting the resume professionally done, making sure you have the proper work experience. Now, I know a lot of people say just go get a job that is related to the fire service. I mean, again, outdated information to get hired, because this would have worked 10, 20 years ago. You want to get a job that is directly applicable to the fire service. But now, if we're thinking even further, like where 2025 is, I see a lot of people that are getting jobs that are not like hands-on based, not construction based, not trades based, electrician, plumber, whatever it might be, but they're getting jobs in terms of psychology, in terms of teaching, in terms of being a teacher at a school. And these types of jobs are helping people get hired in this day and age. So we have to shift our thinking a little bit from the 2015, the 2002 way of thinking, because it's not that year anymore. It's 2025, going to 2026, 2027, and we have to evolve with the times. So those are a few things that I would do coming out of pre-service. Okay, number 3, how do I look for work experience programs? So I actually had 2 of my clients just get hired in work experience programs literally yesterday. So the best way to do it is go online, look up work experience programs in your country, and keep an eye on them. Like, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to be doing if you want to become a firefighter. Keep an eye on all of these programs. Hop onto their website at least every 2 weeks, every week if you want. Are they hiring? Are they taking new people in? If they're not, give them a call. Say, hey, when are you guys taking a new work experience program firefighter? firefighters? What are the prerequisites, et cetera, et cetera? What more information can you give me? And kind of be on their ass to hire you. Like at the end of the day, if you want to make this happen, you can't be that passive guy that's sending an email maybe like once if they're opening up once a year. Be that guy that says, hey, Cap, hey, Chief, so it's that guy Joe calling again, just making sure that you guys got my application, just making sure that you guys are hiring. When are you guys opening up? What can I do to further, and just be in their ear. Make sure that your name is popping up over and over and over. So when that time comes to get hired, boom, you will get hired in a work experience program, and that will inevitably make sure that you get hired as a full-time firefighter in the future, inevitably. Number 4, what are the most important steps in the hiring process? What should I prioritize? Work experience, straight up work experience. Get the 5 or 6 courses that you need to get. Sure, get that done. Get your resume professionally done. Yes. Volunteerism, get 1 or 2 long-term experiences, and then maybe one or two more short-term. What didn't I mention? Work experience, volunteerism, obviously your education, the correct courses, and then work experience on top of that, and having that missing piece. Because I see so many people getting course on top of course, volunteer on top of volunteer. I see people coming out of failed interviews with big cities and saying, oh, Joe, now what I'm going to do, instead of prioritizing interview preparation, which you should be doing to get that job, because if they put you in that room already, that means they liked your resume passed, but they didn't like you. Sorry to say that, but that's the truth. And you have to get better at presenting yourself, your character in that room. But what they tell me they're going to do now, instead of prioritizing interview preparation, they're going to go get more courses, more volunteerism. No, if you're going to change anything up at that point at all, look at your work experience. That's the number one thing. If you maybe got one interview, like just one interview in your entire life, failed that interview, you have to focus on 2 things: getting better work experience, number 1. Number 2, interview preparation. So that's what I'd focus on and prioritize, as well as having your resume professionally done as well. I said as well twice there. What's wrong with me? Am I at a disadvantage at being 22? I usually see people that are older than me getting hired. The answer is no. Because one of the guys that got hired in a work experience program yesterday I think he literally said he's 21. And one of my clients that got hired with Toronto Fire last week is 22 years old. So no, the answer is no. And stop letting people tell you that you're too young to get hired. It's going to have to take you 5 to 10 years. That's why I created this page, to make sure it doesn't. If you're older, stop letting people tell you, oh, you're 40, you can't get, no, you can get hired at 40. There was a guy in my first class, he was 40. We had his birthday literally during our recruit class. And in my next class, there was a guy who was 48 or 47. I don't know. We always made fun of him because he was so old, but super nice guy. Great guy. And point being is, you're not too old, you're not too young. Don't let other people tell you when you can and when you can't achieve your goal. Because the people that get their dream of getting hired in the fire service are the people that outwork the other people. It's not because you're a certain age and that's why you got hired. Because if that was the case, then why wouldn't that 48-year-old got hired way earlier? Because his time was when he was ready for it. His time was when God put him in that position, boom, and he made it happen. But you have to outwork the competition. If you could outwork the competition at 22, at 19, you'll get the job. Outwork the competition. 22 is not too young to get hired. What stumped you in the interview process the most? Everything. Like when I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know what questions to expect. I didn't know how to answer them to collect points. I didn't know how to display high character within my stories. I didn't know what stories to choose. I literally was just going in blank. Like my mind was just blank. This is early on, before I actually learned how to interview properly. And yeah, as you can imagine, I didn't get any job offers back then. That is everything. Everything in the process was just up shit's creek, and I just wasn't able to get hired because I knew nothing. And that's a big mistake that people make. They say, oh, I can do it myself, I can wing it. There's a good chance that you cannot wing a professional firefighter job interview, especially for a bigger city within your country. If you're going for Ottawa, if you're going for Toronto, you're going for BC, Vancouver, if you're going for New York Fire Department, if you're going for anywhere in Los Angeles, no, these are big departments. Portland, Oregon, like these are big departments that you need to have interview preparation for. And I wish I did that earlier on in my process. What are the most common interview questions? Yes, so I always break it down like this. And this is how my program is broken down as well. You're gonna have the 3 introductory introductory. I call them the handshake questions. And these are pretty much them getting to know you and seeing if you know them. Why do you want to be a firefighter? Why should we hire you? That's pretty much a resume review, but you have to do it correctly. And then also what do you know about us / what do you know about our city / what do you know about our department? So once you pass those ones, you're going to pretty much break into the storytelling questions of the interview. And this is going to be stuff like, tell us about a time when you had a stressful experience in your life, how you got through it. You have to know how to break that down, what to do properly. Tell us about a time that you had conflict in the workplace. What did you do properly to break that down step by step by step, so they can go check, 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 check. Oh, he said that? Check, check. He said that? Check, check. Most people don't know that type of thing. They don't know what story to choose from their past. They don't know how to frame it correctly to get check, check, check. They don't know how to display high level of integrity, honesty, compassion. You can't just say the word. You have to actually show it within your story to display to them that you were at one point in your life here and that this experience grew you to be over here. Boom, he has high level of character, she has high level of character, we can hire them. Other than that, they also can ask just random firefighting questions just to see if you pretty much know what the fire service is like and what the job is like. So one question they could ask is, what is a normal day of a firefighter? What does it entail? And that's pretty much to see if you know essentially what you're going to be doing there during the day. Or if they ask where you foresee yourself being at in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years, they want to see, does this guy know the progression of the fire service and of a firefighter's career? That's what they're asking. Most people go down and they'll answer that question with, oh, I want to have a kid, I want to buy a new car, I want to start my business. Like, no, they don't care about all of you in there. They want to see if you know us in there, in the process of being a firefighter. So pretty much those are the types of questions they'll ask. They could also ask like a defined question. I haven't really seen them ask that. That was more like 5 years ago, but they might be like define integrity, define compassion. More so now, they want you to have stories where that integrity or compassion is thrown into it already. How much time do I have for each question? Great question. And also, how many questions will they normally ask? Great. So you're gonna have a 35-minute interview, which is, in my head, you're gonna have 7 questions broken down and you should be at 5 minutes. Now, when I take people through my interview prep, what we do is we train, we overtrain. So they're gonna be going from having a big answer, and probably when they first start rehearsing it, doing mock interviews, they're gonna get each answer is gonna be about 7 minutes. So now what their job is to do over the next month or so is they have to break it down so they cut out at least 1.5 minutes with their nerves, and being familiar with the question, recording themselves. They'll go from 7 minutes, okay, now I'm at 6, now I'm at 5:30. Now, okay, when they're at that point, what do? We have to cut out some fat, usually from the context at the top or context right at the result at the end. So we have to get it within the 5-minute range, because break it down. Usually you're gonna have 6 to 7 questions. Usually it's 7, right? So you have 7 questions, 35 minutes, do the math, it's 5 minutes per question. If you can do that, you're golden. That's what you wanna have. Getting your interview to that point, like I said, it's gonna take a lot of work, a lot of time. You have to know how to do it properly, set it up properly to begin with, and then how to day by day, just work it down just a little bit. But it's definitely possible with work. How do I gain more confidence in an interview, and why do I get so nervous? The only reason you're getting nervous in your interview is because you don't have the confidence. So how do you gain more confidence? You have to know what you're saying. If I told you right now, if you said this thing, and this thing in your interview properly, that will get you hired, would you even be nervous to present that to the interview panel? The answer is no, because you know what you're saying is correct. You know you're gonna get a job. You know the result at the end of this. So you would not be nervous. Like if I told you to go up to that girl at the bar and say, hey, how are you? And say this, and this, and she's gonna, say, oh, here's my number. Okay, then you guys start dating. There, it was successful. You wouldn't be nervous. But why you're nervous is because you're afraid of rejection, because you don't know how this is going to go, the unknown. And that's why over and over, you don't have confidence. That's why over and over, you get nervous. That's why we go into the interview and you're like, I want to say 10 different things. And you walk out, you're like, I barely said 4 of those things. There's a chief in front of me, another chief, a lieutenant, a captain. And you're like, everything just got thrown out the window because you simply were not prepared enough for your interview. Now, most people will under-prepare for an interview, and meaning when they ask them a question, they'll, like I said, 5 minutes, you want 5 minutes per question. These people are going in there and they're barely giving 1 minute to 2 minute answers. And when they are, they're just trailing off in different directions. It's kind of like a branch on a tree. It's how I always explain to my clients. It's kind of going up and they're going in this direction. Oh, wait, now I'm going to go in this direction. Now maybe back over here. But there's no clear direction from point A to point B, they, in my opinion, they shit the bed, and that's why they don't get the job. So you're not confident because you don't know what you're doing. You have to go for interview prep before a job interview. And the last question here, question number 10, what does your program offer specifically to help with interviews? So everything I just outlined there, essentially it's teaching you how to interview properly, how to break down all of the questions, what they're really asking. And in addition to that, it's how to get from these 7-minute long answers, which are good, by the way, because like I said, most people underperform. You're going to overperform to get them down to a nice 5 minutes each. When you have that, you can have a perfect 35-minute interview there. In addition to that, you're going to get multiple questions that were asked in the past for fire departments and current ones that are going to be being asked in that specific round for whatever departments you are interviewing with. In addition to that, loose firefighting questions that I've seen in the past that have just been flying around. Whenever a new one pops in there that I haven't seen a curveball, I'll throw it in there with the answer. By the way, you're gonna get all the answers to all of these questions. And also you're gonna get my bulletproof study routine. That's the best part, because this right here is, we can prepare for interviews all day. I can teach you how to do it, but if you're not maintaining it 15 minutes in the morning, 15 at night, boom. And instead of watching Netflix, instead of scrolling on your phone to see what the next post was, get off 6buzz. If you just go with your coffee in the morning, 15 minutes at night, no Netflix for 15 minutes and study for a little bit, that teaches you how to get into the proper routine so you land your job when the time comes. And this program has been working for multiple people last year who've been getting hired in major departments this year and last year, and it's already working in 2025. Already gotten hired this year. 2 of them yesterday in work experience programs. Boom. That's it, guys. Wow. You guys have asked some incredible questions. I hope these answers answer these questions for you. And if you have any more, I'll be putting out more posts in the future where you can ask more questions, whatever you want. The best questions, the top 10 are going to get answered in these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Joe Motivational. Turn the bell icon on as well, so you always have the best information at all times. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I wish you all the best. Thanks, guys.